Hey Grace 242 House Church leaders. One of the primary challenges that the leadership has identified in this house church format has been involving the children in the worship service. We recognize that it's tricky in this format, and since we're doing something that we've never tried before, this is certainly one of those challenges. You'll notice that one of the things I've been trying to do to keep the kids involved has been to give a little short video children's message before the scripture reading in the message video every week. And in that little short children's message, I've tried to ask them a question or prompt a little bit of discussion with the kids after the message video. Another thing that I've seen as I've bounced around between the different house churches has been there are house churches that are really good about including the kids during that sharing time. One of the reasons why sharing time is a required element of house church worship services is because we want relationships to be built with everybody. And I've loved it as I've gone around to the different house churches and I've seen leaders include every person in that sharing time. Every single person gets to give an account of what's happening in their lives. And what's been really neat is the relating that's happened, this sort of organic getting to know one another that's happened in the house churches, often will make for great discussion with the kids and the students. I've seen house church leaders ask kids and students like, hey, how was your driver's test? Did you get your license? Or how was that test? Or, what happened in your game last week? And I just think that's fantastic. We want to give every person, no matter what age, the opportunity to share during that sharing time. I think that's a portion of the service where you really have a wide open door to include the kids by giving them a chance to share and talk no matter what age they are. I'd also invite you as house church leaders to continue to use that little children's message as a jumping off point for maybe a little bit of discussion. But one of the good news things here is that studies have shown that if children have relationships with all of the different generations in their churches, they are more likely to stick with the faith. And so I recognize that whereas we might miss the opportunity to have children's worship like we had when we were at the nature preserve, or we might miss what we grew up with Sunday school and specific things that were targeted toward kids, studies have actually shown that kids, knowing older adults, knowing adults from all across the spectrum, knowing different people in their churches, that makes them feel connected, and that actually keeps them connected to the faith in the long haul. And so know that the simple fact that you are being with them and catching up on their lives is building a web, as we call it, around our students. That's kind of one of the goals, is we want to build a web of people, a network of believers around our kids and support them as they grow up. And so I suppose if I were to summarize one thing, I'd say use that sharing time to harness that connection with our kids. Give every single one of them the chance to share. And many of you are already doing that. House church leaders, you warm my heart. We could not do this without you. It's just fabulous, the things that I've seen as I've begun to visit you all. If I haven't seen you yet, you'll see me soon. Love you all.